Hello, hello, hello. My name is Joe.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is Double Trouble Features.
Hamburger.
The burger! Duh. All right, and there are our Steve Martin impressions for you today.
Yes.
Welcome to the weekly podcast where we talk about all things movies, television, and just what's on these damn screens.
Yeah, and you know what? This time of year, there's a lot of things on the screens.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been eating good.
I cannot wait for all the movies that are going to come out around Christmas time. Can't wait for just, Oscar season movies.
Whoever's idea it was to release Nosferatu on Christmas Day, I love you. Thank you.
Reviews are out, and it is.
I knew it was going to be good. With
certified
that cast,
fresh.
With that cast, there was no other option. And this being like the year of horror.
I'm not going to lie. William Dafoe has gotten the bag in the past couple of years. If you really think about it.
I mean, but he always has. People just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you that. He has gotten a lot more notable work as of late.
Yes. Because, 2000s? What's he super known for? But I feel Green Goblin. That's my favorite.
I feel like, and then once I feel like Green Goblin happened, he was in a lot of indie movies, a lot of which were great performances, but not very publicly received.
I think ever since the Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson, I think he's just, everybody's like, damn, he can act.
Yeah, he can.
And he's getting every single role. And I'm actually going to talk about a movie that he's in today.
I heard there was one movie, I can't remember the name of it. I think it was called Antichrist or something. He was in that. And this fun fact always stuck with me. They had to use a prosthetic for his nude scene, not because it was too small or they wanted to hide it, because his member was so egregiously large.
Do you think William Dafoe is that well endowed?
According to multiple reports by some verified journalists, yes. And they had to cover it up because it was so large, it was making the other cast members uncomfortable.
Good for William Dafoe.
I know. Good for William Dafoe.
Good for him.
And that's the thing. With that face, at least you got something else.
What? To be honest, I don't know what he looked like young.
I don't know what he looked like young either.
Yes, I've just known wrinkly William Dafoe.
But I always kind of liked it. I always kind of had a thing for him.
I don't know what he looked like.
I didn't care. Once I saw him in Spider-Man, I was like, I do like old men.
I do. We're 2001.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Y'all just hopped on the Zaddy train. I've been on the Zaddy train since birth.
But anyway, yeah, we got a great show. Of course, we're going to talk about movies and TV shows, and I guess more William Dafoe. So let's get into it. Okay, Joe. I want to put more respect on this person's name. And I feel like a lot of people do not put enough respect on my man, Jack Black.
And what makes me, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yes.
I do not think that this is the movie to get that respect.
What's your favorite Jack Black movie?
Oh, my favorite?
Yeah. I feel like it's the same. I feel like it's everybody's.
I mean, School of Rock, right?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
And that's the thing with School of Rock was such a seminal piece of art
millennial
in our thing, and it was because it was funny and it was irreverent, but it still had kids in it, and we were kids, and it was I don't know, and it was just us really related.
It made rock kind of cool, because if you really think about it, 2000s, rock was kind of going away. And it made rock kind of cool and relevant for, the next generation.
Well, and then he continued to go on with it with Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny and all of that fun stuff. And he's done some other Gulliver's Travels, God. But not a good movie.
What's the oh my God, I'm trying to think. Where he meets this guy and he's sexy as hell. Or no. Every girl that he
Shallow Hal.
I love Shallow Hal. Yes,
I grew up watching Shallow Hal so
much.
My
God, yes.
My mom loved Shallow Hal.
It's so good.
It's a good movie. It's and it's got a point. Fuck the fat bitch.
Do you think Shallow Hal could do happen now.
No, not. I don't think that we as a society are, because I think here's the thing. I think that we are past the shallow hows of it all, but we're not at the next step. I think we're in this in between era where we really need to decide as a society how we do feel about
You're right.
bodies. I think we're doing better, but Ozempic is kind of putting us back into the.
I think that like it went to a point where like we try to push too hard, and
Yeah.
then some people were like, "Bro, like let's be honest." And then it's just like we need to find like just a nice progressive like, "Hey, you know what? It's all about what's in the inside, man."
And I do think that, but I think it's a little more nuanced. I like here, and here's my thing about it. I was like, I'm a larger man. I'm fat. There are plenty of
Hey,
people.
Joe.
I don't
No,
want.
you're not.
No, shut up. I hate that so much. But there are plenty of people who still are interested in me physically. I mean, like.
That's all that matters.
But that's what I'm saying is like, I think that the way these conversations are going is like, you might not be attracted to bigger people, but some are. And here's the thing. A lot of the people who are attracted to bigger people are like ashamed of it or try to hide it. And then they push that insecurity on,
Yeah, it shouldn't be like
us.
it shouldn't be like, hey, because you're fat, you're instantly ugly, or by like a society standard.
Yeah.
It should just be like, hey, you're just not some people's type.
Yes, exactly.
And that's okay. Because
And
you know what? Skinny little twig girls, not really my type.
No, and I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that, but I don't think we're at that conversation yet.
No, we're not.
I don't think we're ready to have that because people still want to put other people down for their physicalities, and we're just not there yet. Are we calling people like fat? No, but they're being much more creative and mean with it.
Yeah. And then speaking of like another conversation we're not really ready to have is Jack Black being in Minecraft and playing Steve. I'm not really ready for that conversation because like I know you didn't play Minecraft.
I didn't
right?
play Minecraft. For me,
Yeah.
Minecraft was for kids, so I don't really understand that. But anyway,
It's for kids and people with autism, 100%.
yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah.
yeah, and that's why I played it. Checks
So-
out, right?
So speaking of kids with learning disabilities,
Oh yeah, that's. Do you see how that all tied around?
yeah, I can put us right back.
Yes.
That's called media training, baby.
You're the one who always gets us off, though.
I get us off, but I put us
No,
back on
I
track.
always put us back.
Okay,
on.
but I just put us back on track. Thank you.
Round of applause for Joe. Round of applause.
You were on some tangent. I don't even know what that was. You're just jerking off to Jack Black. I'm trying to talk about my movie.
Hey, you know what? Jack Black is sexy.
Yeah. Anyway, if you ever want to see a young Jack Black, this is me. If you ever want to see a young Jack Black, he's in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer with Brandy.
He is, isn't he? I forgot
He's
about
that like Rastafari, like he's like trying to get everyone drugs.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. So the movie that I did watch had Jack Black in it, and it was Dear Santa. Now streaming on Paramount Plus. And here's the thing. This movie, I feel like, had a lot of different executive decisions made about it because here's what it is. This is a movie all about this little boy who has dyslexia.
They make that like a point.
It is a huge point.
Okay.
He also has a little friend with gigantic buck teeth that like stick out their hair. And there is a point to that. I don't understand the point to it other than we'll get into it a little bit. So he believes in Santa. He's writing a letter to Santa and his life sucks, man. It's just like not great. He's like having a hard time. He's an awkward. It was actually really annoying because I felt like I was watching myself on screen as a kid. Like
Are you
just
dyslexic?
awkward. No, I'm not dyslexic, but awkward, kind of chubby, glasses, dorky, only has one friend to the side.
Wait, do you wear contacts?
No, do you really want to get into my eyesight right now?
You know, I actually don't.
I was like,
I just never seen you wear glasses, so
Jordan, I wear glasses all the time. Like literally all the time. I'm pretty sure there are glasses in the pictures we took together. We'll get into this later. The fact that you didn't know I wore glasses is insane.
bro, there's no way you wear glasses.
Jordan, the fact that you didn't know that.
There's no way you wear glasses.
They're in my backpack right now. Can I?
No.
Anyways,
On live, I'm discovering this.
I'm not looking at a screen. I'm not reading right now. I don't need my glasses to see. It's for like, anyways, I was an awkward kid with glasses growing up, and it was really interesting just to see like that dichotomy. But he writes a letter to Santa, but we have to remember he has dyslexia. So the letter doesn't say to Santa, it says to Satan.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's some demon shit in this.
Wait. What rating is this?
PG-13.
It's a holiday movie about okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm a little intrigued now.
Yeah. So he sends off the letter. The letter does not go to the North Pole like it's supposed to. It goes to Satan.
Who? Okay. How does it get to Satan?
It just kind of, it goes through hell. He puts he puts the letter in the mailbox, and then you just see like little fires start creeping up, and then it just goes into hell.
Bro, imagine if that's just like how the U.S. postal system worked.
Well, I think you'd have to use some satanic forces to do it. But we're halfway there.
Not in this house. Do that on your own time.
So he sends it to Satan. Satan shows up, and he's like, hey, and it's Jack Black, and he's like, "Hey kid, I'm here," and he's just like, "Yay, Santa!" And he's like, "What?" And Jack Black's just kind of like, "What?" And then he keeps going with it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Santa, and I'm gonna offer you 3 wishes." And he's like, "That's not what Santa does." And he's like, "No, this is way fucking better." But then the movie just kind of goes from there. It really isn't anything to like write home about. There are some funny parts. Post Malone does make a cameo as Post Malone. Is
that one of his wishes?
Interesting. So one of his wishes is that he wants to take a girl out on a date and impress her. And so Jack Black gets it set up VIP at the Post Malone concert, and then brings him out on stage.
A kid?
Yes. This is Satan. So I don't know. My biggest issue with this movie is that it was PG-13, but it felt like a kid's movie. Like the jokes weren't really that adult. They weren't even like that like slapsticky. It was just very like heartful, and like I don't know how to explain it. It just didn't have the grime, the Jack Black griminess where he's like kind of dirty. And I think they thought that the devil thing was like enough to like play that off.
But it needed just a little bit more.
It just needed some more. And I don't, and it was like, it was hard to pinpoint. I expect my Jack Black holiday movies
a little dirty
on Paramount Plus,
a little dirty,
to be, nasty. And maybe that's just because
stank on it.
Maybe that's just because I did grow up with Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
So what would you rate it?
4. It was just okay. I'll give you, it's better than a lot of holiday movies being shoved out on streaming services right now. I'll give it that.
God, there's so many.
There's so many, and they're so bad.
It's like Hallmark had its place, and like they're not great movies and stuff like that, but it's just like, oh, it's Hallmark, let's watch it. I don't need Netflix, Disney, freaking Hulu, everything to be Hallmark. Like if I'm paying premium price,
here's the I'll give Netflix a pass only because they add sex to the movies.
There's sex in
Hallmark movies? No,
I'm talking about, is there sex in
No,
Dear Santa?
No, there's not. No, there's no sex in, because it's about kids. No, there's no sex about. No.
I didn't know how old these kids are.
They were like 12. It was like 7th grade.
Hey.
Yeah, you're a pervert. But no, it was fine. It was like, it had some funny moments, but it didn't make me chuckle. And that's what I was really hoping for. I think that's my biggest problem.
You're hoping for, let me just throw something on, let me get a couple laughs here and there, and then be on with my day.
I got a couple, but it just, I don't know. I wanted it to be more. I think that's the biggest thing. I'm just disappointed. Yeah. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Okay. So growing up, my like pastime on Saturday nights was definitely not watching Saturday Night Live. It definitely was
Really?
not. No, I didn't get into Saturday Night Live until I was about 18, to be honest.
Interesting. I watched Saturday Night Live a lot when I was a kid. My dad watched it with his parents. It was a very family thing.
Yeah, like in a black family, like
I mean,
you got to think like what.
Well, and especially back then.
Yeah, back then there was Eddie Murphy, and you can laugh at Eddie Murphy, but
And
like
you had to really like Eddie Murphy to stick around for it. To stick around for.
Niggas love Eddie Murphy.
I mean,
so
I love Eddie Murphy too.
So, but like after that, like if you really think about it, like what are some prominent like black people on SNL? I mean, you could say Kenan Thompson, but like, is it really him being prominent, or is it just him being on the show for a million years?
Yeah, I'd milk that for all I can fucking get. That's the thing I always found interesting when people would get up and leave. They're like, I'm doing off to do bigger and better things. I'm like, then get paid to show up once. Like anyway,
like Leslie
Michael
Jones,
Che.
like what's Michael Che doing?
Oh, you mean outside of Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Oh,
Michael Che ain't doing
Leslie
shit.
Jones is doing well.
Well,
I said well, not great.
What's a show she's in?
She doesn't she do a lot of stuff on the Daily Show still?
She does a couple appearances, not like she is on the Daily
I don't think
Show.
well, and here's the thing. I think she just makes enough money she doesn't have to.
Yeah, no.
Because that's one thing. Because like looking at Arsenio Hall, people like that. Once a lot of black celebrities make their money, they fuck off.
Yeah, and so like that's my thing about like Saturday Night Live is a lot of these people really don't become famous after they leave.
No.
If you really think about it, like I think the main people who have gotten really famous after, I think Will Ferrell got famous.
Will Ferrell,
Amy Poehler, and Tina Fey, all did their own thing after.
Kristen Wiig did a bunch.
Kristen Wiig, she got famous after. I think you can say Chevy Chase definitely did.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd did. Eddie Murphy did. You can say
Jimmy Fallon, wasn't he on it?
oh my God, I'm not even. I guess you can count Jimmy Fallon because he has his own late night show. But
I mean,
like,
I would consider that successful.
that is very successful. Like, don't get me wrong, but like it's like,
But he
that's all he got.
Yeah.
It's like
Sometimes I get annoyed when he comes back. I'm like, can you stay on your
I
other
don't even
show?
think Jimmy Fallon's like that funny. I really don't.
I've said this for years.
No,
I've never been a fan of either Jimmy's, to be honest. Jimmy Kimmel, I think, has
I
better
take Jimmy
points.
Kimmel over.
Oh,
Jimmy
for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm still not like I'll always want to watch Colbert or anyone.
Like I like Jimmy Kimmel's like little bits that
Yeah.
he does, like the sidewalk shit. Love that. That shit's funny because it's just making fun. But he's not really in it. Like he's not the main driver of that. I love Guillermo though.
I mean, Pete Davidson got famous outside of SNL, but not for the right reasons.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, but like he's been in like a couple shows, got a couple stand-ups here and there. Like Pete Davidson just has a big dick.
Yeah.
And so like he has big dick energy, and I don't think he really does, but like I guess girls definitely think he does.
I think a lot of people, they like their man to look a little frail because they know they could take him.
like I'm not gonna lie, my friend just told me that the other day. My friend just told me that.
Yeah,
about
you
that.
you gotta know that you like I was like he's not gonna just like punch me and that's gonna be one.
Yeah.
I need to be able to take more than one hit from a man.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
But
We live in Missouri.
Yeah.
Domestic abuse. Anyway.
But anyway, we've talked about all these people that have been on the show that really haven't made it outside. It's still going on 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I did, I watched the new movie that came out. It's called Saturday Night. And it's about 90 minutes before the show starts. And when I tell you it's very chaotic, as you would expect.
Oh,
It's
like the first show.
The very first show.
Okay.
It was super chaotic to get on live.
That sounds like my work and I hate that.
Okay, so got this show this movie recommended by one of our viewers. So yeah. Hey guys, if you ever want us to watch a show and then tell you how we feel about it,
We have viewers.
I know.
Who?
We'll definitely
Yeah.
watch it.
Tell me what to do. I'm submissive.
Yeah. But anyway, so Lorne Michaels is the creator of Saturday Night Live. And he's the one who brought it all to NBC and everything like that. And so what happens is we're talking about the 90 minutes. And my wife did not like this movie because it is the most chaotic 90 minutes. And she doesn't like chaos.
No, that's a very stressful, like.
Yes. Like she loved the I think 3 fishes or 9 fishes from Bear. Where like the whole family's going chaotic and stuff. Because she's like, oh, that's family dynamics and shit happens. But like also she understands like the kitchen's different. But like business wise, nothing's set up. Nothing's ready. People aren't signing their contracts. People are fucking off. We don't have the show lined up. We don't know what gets cut, what doesn't get cut. You have people like, hey, we're gonna live fucking Carson instead of having you on if you can't get this shit right. And we have this person who doesn't have lines. This person. And so like it's so chaotic of a movie. I loved it.
I'm not kidding. This just sounds like everything I do for work.
Oh no, 100%. Like, yeah, that's your job.
I'm sitting here. I was like, yeah, going into an event with contracts not signed by the people who were supposed to sign a contract and legally shouldn't be here right now. Or somebody refusing to sign a photo release in the middle of a fucking event, or somebody.
Bro, that's wild.
No, I was pissed. I was like, why are you even here then?
Yeah, and so this movie, I'll tell you the end, how it ends. The movie ends with the first episode airing. And my wife kind of thought that there wasn't enough payoff because you see all the craziness and you really don't get to see like that first episode. But to me, I went in knowing this movie is entirely about the buildup.
Yeah.
It's not about the actual finished product and seeing what it looks like. You can go, the purpose was you can go back and watch that stuff, but this is about what happens.
Well, and I think that's really interesting that you say that because, I mean, like you said, SNL has been on for fucking 50 years.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here and this movie, it feels like it was a love letter to those people who originated this, because so many people love Saturday Night Live. And so many people are invested in Saturday Night Live that like they know, like we were talking about the beef between Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor earlier, because like we know and we appreciate that. And like I'll go back and sometimes if I just need nothing on Peacock, there's an SNL Vault channel. And you could it just plays SNL clips nonstop.
Oh, nonstop, really?
Nonstop.
Ooh.
And it's so nice. And just to have on, but this movie seems like a love letter to both SNL and its fans. If you're not a fan of SNL, like a fan.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why you would want to watch a prequel to.
Yeah, no, like facts. If you're not a fan of SNL, you're not going to like actually there's a little bit, if it's just kind of like history, you know, just kind of being retold. So again, what starts off is like Lorne Michaels comes out and he's just like, we're supposed to sell out a crowd. Nobody is trying to, like, nobody's taking free tickets. Then he goes in and producers are like, hey, what's going to happen? Like, what's this? What is even the show? And like, he can't really articulate it.
Because there wasn't a sketch comedy show on like,
and he also didn't want to call it that. Yeah, he didn't even want to call it a sketch shop.
Well, and that's fair because the ones that were, it was like Sonny and Cher and that like those like old sketch comedies.
Then you had like writers who are, you know, when comedic writers are assholes. Like they're all assholes in their own like asshole-ish way. You had NBC come in, this evangelical like woman come in and it was just like, I have prevented all the dirty filth of Satan with this pen. And the dude's like, and I am Satan, so fuck
No,
off.
it's just very much like, hey, girl, like if you really think that God wants this to just be stopped, He'll send lightning.
Yes.
If you believe in God and you believe God wants me to stop, what I'm doing, He'll stop me. And if He doesn't, then shut up.
And so he puts so it's like that woman trying to like cross out a bunch of different sketches. They didn't even have the stage built.
No.
And they were building the stage literally up to the last moment. Literally, like they were doing dress rehearsals, and like this is a real true story. It's like the lighting fell through the like on the floor, and the couch lit on fire. Like, and I'm talking like 30 minutes before like we're live on air.
Murphy's Law is so real. Everything that
Yes.
can go wrong will go wrong.
Yes.
In every project and everything you do, it will go wrong. Which is why you gotta make your list, check it twice, and it's still gonna go wrong, and you can't get mad at it. But this movie sounds amazing. I can't wait to watch it.
You know, it's great. You see like a young Chevy Chase, you see a young Dan Aykroyd. You see, I didn't know. So the one thing I didn't know about this was his wife at the time. His wife, Rosie, was a writer for the show, and they were married, and she was fucking Dan Aykroyd. And like, it's very clear that everybody knew it.
Hell yeah.
You had different people like coming in trying to like see what's this going on. You had a dispute with Carson's contract. They're like, hey, this is the reason why we're even doing this, is because they're trying to use this for me not to get more money, and they make money off the reruns, but fuck you. Like, I don't care if you are succeed or not. This one dude, I forgot his name, but he's played by J.K. Simmons. I guess what happens in the movie doesn't actually happen in real life, but it does, just in a different way. He whips his dick out just midway, and just like, this dude has a huge dick. Like kind of like
camera? On like live TV?
No, not on live TV, but like during the whole thing, whips his fucking dick out. And everybody's like, no, this dude, huge, well-endowed member. Probably like Willem Dafoe.
And why is this prevalent?
To be honest, because he is one of the people that are like in the NBC network.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so it's more kind of like how we went from like the traditional NBC like TV shows and stuff like that and live on air to like going into like the new age of things, because this went live in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then
it was it was kind of like an uncharted territory. People were just getting TVs in their houses. You know what I mean? Like, and especially color TVs at that. Like before, like my dad was telling me he didn't even know Wizard of Oz was partially in color until he was 18 years old. Because he just didn't have a color TV. His parents never bought one.
Yeah, no, facts. And so like this movie, it's very chaotic and it's a little stressful, especially if you're like OCD or like type A. Most stressful movie you'll watch in a minute. But
This movie
loved
sounds
it.
Great.
I loved it because like, hey, great acting by everybody. Good way to like see what's happened and stuff like that, how this became. And it was interesting. Like the whole time you're kind of like some shit would happen. It would like show like a clock of like, hey, we have 30 minutes. We have 20 minutes. And then like you see all like his cousin, you see how this dynamic, people doing drugs. The guy who plays John Belushi, Matt Wood, does amazing. But like you see a fight between different actors of the ensemble and stuff like that. And so like, how does this show get live? How does this show get like go on that night? Don't know, to be honest. Like if I'm an executive, no, we're cutting to Carson right now. But seeing all this kind of like play out in a like chaotic kind of way, but seeing that the first episode does air right then and there, I thought that was enough satisfying for me, at least. Not my wife, but I enjoyed it. I would give this movie a solid like 6.5 to like, if I had to choose a number, I'll probably choose a 6. I wish they did like Birdman. Have you seen Birdman?
The one with
Michael Keaton.
No, I haven't seen it.
So like Birdman is like it's like a one shot,
Continuous.
yes, continuous one shot.
Didn't they do that in 1917?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So same style.
Yeah.
I wish they did that.
Oh,
yes.
I wish that would have been cool.
Yeah. If because you cut here and like you have a lot of motion of the camera and so like, but I just wish it was just one shot and we're going from station to station, going around, seeing all the crazy batshit things that are happening.
That would have been really cool.
I think that would have made the movie much better.
So it was like cut scenes.
Yeah, it was not a ton of cut scenes, but like I just wish it was all continuous. And I think that would have made that movie probably like a solid 8 or 9.
Yeah.
To be honest. But great movie. Like I wouldn't say great movie, but like a good movie. I would actually rewatch. I'll give it a 7. Solid 7. I would rewatch it again.
Talk yourself into it.
I did talk myself into it.
You know what I miss?
What?
Mad TV.
Great.
Ugh.
I miss Spike TV as well.
Okay, Mad TV was a sketch comedy show.
I understand that, but it just made me think.
You want to watch Mansers?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck
you know how much I learned from Mansers?
The only thing I remember from Mansers is that veal is the most similar meat consistency to a vagina.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from Mansers. And it did not help me at all.
Well, I'm sorry, you're a special.
I can't.
You're a special.
I have no reason because that makes me not want to eat veal.
Yeah, hey, if you eat veal, you might want to eat pussy. So
I do eat a lot. I love veal.
So you might love pussy.
I just don't want to fuck it. That's the thing is I was sitting there and I was like, they just want to put their dicks in everything.
Yes.
Oh,
my wife made some cinnamon rolls. I swear to God, like I was just like, I want to put my
Christ.
dick. It was so good. It was delicious. Wanted to put my dick in it. Like, actually.
And see, that's the other thing. Is like I want to. Never mind.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I took that too far, Mister. I want to fuck the cinnamon rolls. That was all me. Okay, so like in a galaxy far, far away, what's going on, girl?
So I just got a place. The Republic is gone. Thank God.
Thank God. Get her out.
Yes. So annoying.
Anything that starts with an Republic is awful.
Dumb bitch. That's why she got killed and destroyed. But anyway, so I actually live in a great, wonderful place that nobody knows about. And what's crazy is my planet is the treasure planet.
Like from Disney?
Not from Disney.
Okay,
but first of all,
then girl, you got to say a treasure planet, not the treasure planet.
I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm talking about the new show that just came out. It's called Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Jude Law's in it.
Love Jude Law.
He has a very nice bone structure.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not gonna lie. He's a good looking man.
I'd like to.
Is he Irish or something? Like,
I think he's just British.
Yeah, something.
I'm pretty sure he's British because the only reason I remember that is because I'm pretty sure I saw it in a lot of British tabloids when he was banging his nanny.
Checks out. So what I'm watching, Skeleton Crew. I've only watched 2 episodes. I liked it. Like I actually really liked it. I will give it a solid 7. I'm definitely going to keep watching.
I forgot. I'm so excited. You reminded me of it, and I'm like,
no. So this show, it's it follows this boy. His name is Win.
Because all we do is win.
Shout out DJ Khaled.
Another one.
And so I'm not gonna lie. The best thing about this show is it definitely puts in a perspective of like, hey, I don't care about like everything else that's happening in the universe. You know, the universe is so big. And like I love seeing like stories that are within a universe but doesn't center around the shit we've been going through in the past 9 movies.
Microcosms.
Yes. I love that about this. And so like it kind of gave you like a futuristic of like what would life be like? Just, you know, whatever the future is. I mean, I think technically Star Wars is supposed to be in the past, I think.
Yeah, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. So, but just looking at like what different worlds would be like he goes to a classroom. a robot's teaching. They have to take basically the aptitude test that tells you what your career is going to be for the rest of your life. And he has
Just like Korea.
Yeah. Wait, what? I didn't mean yeah. That just threw me off.
Just like Korea. But I'm actually not wrong.
I know you're not. Okay.
I was like, that's the worst part. Is like I'm not wrong. So like, yeah, you should have agreed, but like not happy about it.
Sorry, did not register what you said.
Anyway.
But so it's him and his best friend. And I always like the interactions between like different aliens, like different species. And so like he's a human. His best friend is this alien, fat with a trunk.
Yeah.
But he's like your typical kind of nerdy friend and stuff like that.
I've heard it described as Star Wars Stranger Things.
No. Wouldn't put that.
Okay.
I'll put it more like
is it just because there's kids? That's why they said that?
Yeah, I think that's why. It's not Stranger Things. I would say it's more like Sandlot.
Okay.
Or oh my
like
God.
Goonies?
Goonies. Goonies is the perfect example.
Yeah.
Yes, it is definitely Star Wars Goonies.
That makes me so happy.
Yes.
I'm going to go home and watch this immediately after this. I'm so excited.
Yes, it is 100% Star Wars Goonies. And so you got two kids. Then you have this older, like a little bit older girl, who's, trying to be like a little badass and stuff like that. But she's actually top of her class. She's actually very smart. She comes from a rich family and stuff like that.
I was waiting for the backstory.
Yeah, she's trying to be a little bit of anarchist.
So I don't know what it is about me. Maybe it's because I'm poor and grew up poor. Rich kids who act poor drive me insane.
Facts.
Facts.
We are not the same. And
it's
that's
okay.
But don't try to be like me.
And don't charge me for the Uber, you asshole. Your dad owns a bank. Anyway.
Bro, I hate when oh my God.
And they don't even put it on their cards. It's on their fucking daddy's cards. And they're just collecting cash on their Venmo at this point. Bitches.
Bro, like, you took me 2 miles away and you're charging me $5 for gas? What are you talking about, bro? I know how much gas mileage your car gets.
When people try to like don't even no. So that girl.
No, it's that guy that we
guy.
Yeah, we both know what guy I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway,
I was talking about the show.
But anyway, that girl, she has a friend. Her name's KB. KB is, I don't know. She got this futuristic thing over her head. I don't know what it does, but it's futuristic.
Futuristic thing? Like, is it a part of her body or
it's not part of her body?
It's like a hat.
No, it's not a hat. It's like, Star Trek, the black dude that had the thing around his head. Yeah, it's that.
Okay, like a visor.
Yeah. But anyway, so what happens is they kind of go through when the main kid discovers this thing. He is obsessed with Jedis. Jedis are a thing of the past. They're not really a thing anymore.
I'm obsessed with Jedis.
So he's like, man, these are cool. So he discovers this thing in the woods and he's like, oh, this is a Jedi temple. And so these four kind of like discover how to open it up. And it's not a Jedi temple, it's a ship.
Oh.
And they're like, hey, don't touch anything. And his dumbass, let me touch something. And they go to hyperspace. Like,
from nothing?
Yes. Like, it is buried in the ground, goes up from the ground, and then boom. And then all of a sudden, they're like, all right, hey, take us home. And the robot who's like who runs the ship, he's like, where's home? And they say the planet, and they're like, that's not a real thing. And it's like, no, check your memory banks. No, that's not a real thing. And so
you just came from there.
Exactly. And so what happens is they go to like this pirate place, pirate port. And these pirates are like, see how fucking the kid has a coin from his dad given for lunch money. Mm-hmm. And they're like, where'd you get a mint condition Republic credit that's worth a lot more money than like anybody knows, that the kids know at least. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, it's from, I got it from my dad. Oh. God. And then they're like, where are you from again? And he says the name of the planet. And it's just like, you're lying, because that's the treasure planet. That's the planet full of treasure and stuff like that. And so what happens is the adventures is like they meet up with Jude Law. and Jude Law is an ex pirate. He's an ex
Okay.
pirate. He's got mutiny. And so it's like them going on adventures trying to find how the way to get back home because their planet technically doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all fantasy for their planet.
Well, and it's interesting because like this is now the second time this has come up in this series, probably more, but like with Camino and that
Yeah.
was like specifically the planet was specifically hidden, and they
Yep.
wanted to make sure in the second movie, well, episode 2, I don't want to say the second movie, episode 2, that like they weren't, so they took it from the Jedi records. So it sounds like they like somebody is trying to hide this
because in the show they're like nobody's supposed to go past the barrier of their planet.
Ooh.
Nobody's supposed to get out the barrier or anything like that. So I do think this planet was supposed to be hidden. Don't know much more else of what's going to happen. But so far, like it's very enjoyable. Like you said, it's like the Goonies. I love like this is gonna sound weird, but I love like kids
on
like
an adventure.
on an adventure. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Like it's just like let them explore, let them like find like who they are and what they're trying to do. I don't know if there's going to be a love story or not. I don't need it, but everyone usually has just a little bit of a love story.
I feel like with kids in media, it's very like,
oh, it's super innocent.
like
Like
if you'll miss it, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, if it's not there, I'm so okay with it.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, and what's interesting about it is like with that, I'm noticing a trend of like a lot of more like friend group movies, that
Yes.
kind of thing. And it's because Gen Z is like very specifically said, we are tired of sex and romantic relationships being the sole center focus and reason for people doing things. Like your motivation cannot all be about sex. And they want to see nuanced, complex friendships and relationships in that context. There may be some sex in there because all friend groups have some semblance of a weird thing.
what I think is what makes that hard
Yeah.
is to make every person complex and every person like actually have a purpose.
Yeah.
I think a lot of writers are just, it's so easy just to be like, hey, Bob and Jen love each other and they have this dynamic, and then Bob's friends and then Jen's friends, or like they're vice versa, whatever. We'll just play them off of those two main people, and that's their ensemble. Instead of like, no, each character needs their own nuance, their own purposes, their own everything without involving romantic. I think it's hard for writers to just get behind that.
I agree and I understand, but like the audience is like Gen Z. They want what they can relate to on screen, and what they relate to on screen is their friends. It's not who they're banging. It's not their like romantic relationships are not at the forefront of their minds or what they even want. Like marriage is not the penultimate goal of their lives, which is interesting and it's really kind of cool, but it makes media harder because what has always been a basic institution in this media is marriage, relationships, sex between a man and a woman, obviously, of course, up until like
Hell yeah, brother.
up until Glee ruined everything. But
Glee, okay, when Glee came out, I remembered the hate.
girl, people were pissed.
People were hating
and that's
on
what's
Glee.
and that's what's funny. If you go back and watch Glee now, pretty homophobic. Like one of the, they're just like, there's no such thing as bi people, like full, like blank.
Yep.
And it's so I find that interesting just with what, like I've read an annoying amount of articles about what Gen Z wants out of media.
Yeah.
And what they want out of movies, because there's a disconnect, and Hollywood knows it and they know it.
And I think that's what makes like Stranger Things like really connect, because again, it's like kids, and like with kids, you don't need sex. It's okay to have like that romantic connection and a little kiss here and there, but like you don't need the sex and stuff like that for that to be your driving force. And I think that's what's going to make this do well. Again, I don't care about, the history of the Jedi. I don't care if there's a Jedi out there. I don't care about none of that in this movie. I just want in the universe, but we don't need to really talk about anything that's happened in the
Yeah.
past or what's going to happen in the future. Please do not bring up anything Skywalker. I hope to God it doesn't. But like,
You know, I just feel like at the end, it's always, even when we get all the way through something, at the end, it's like Luke Skywalker shows up in Mandalorian. Just shows up.
I'm not going to lie, when that happened, though, I was
Oh,
gassed.
I shit myself. That was so cool.
Yes.
But we don't need it again. Is my
Yeah,
point.
I don't need it.
Exactly.
I don't need it. I don't need like Ahsoka to come out of nowhere and be like, yeah, now you are the chosen one. I don't need that. Yeah.
I'll always take Yoda, though.
Baby Yoda.
Grogu comes out.
I'm so down for Grogu to do anything.
Yeah,
Yes.
fair.
The movie's going to come out next year. Can't wait. Cannot wait.
It's going to be great.
But yeah, no, so far, give this a 7. And,
Okay.
you know, this is a start. Don't know where it's going to go, but hopefully it'll be good. All right, so we did talk about, like, dystopian worlds and how we're burnt out.
Yeah.
Because of, like, what, early 2010s? Like, that's when all that really happened, was we got non-stop dystopian worlds, different class issues and stuff.
And
it's
it's interesting because they do talk a lot about how we view the future and how in like the 60s and 70s they were seeing flying cars and no more problems, no more crime, everything's clean. But what
that's true.
But what they forgot about was the 80s and capitalism, which destroyed all of that.
Yeah, like my future, like if I think 50 years from now, I think Terminator.
Yeah.
There's just no way AI is not going to.
Well, and it's just
There's no way.
It's very much like I've seen Terminator. I've seen a billion ripoffs of Terminator. Y'all are trying to make these robots
And it's
so real.
It's so like the thing is, it's just like you can't tell me this is not plausible, and we're still going towards it.
And Kim Kardashian's playing with her Tesla bot on live. And
yeah, I saw Kai Cenat. He was playing with that thing.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't like that it talks back to you.
Kevin Hart was stabbing it. Couldn't cut it. He's stabbing with like a plastic fork though, so like
it's also Kevin Hart.
The robot did call him short.
Yeah.
And flipped him off.
Good.
So
but no, thinking about the future and where it's going, we don't really know, but here is an option, and that is living in a silo. So
that's wild. It's a wild statement if you really think about it.
I mean, the other option is to die. And I'll die. So I have been watching Silo on Apple TV Plus.
Another reason why you should have your Apple TV.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I watched it because I was like, I pay for this stupid thing. I need to watch something on it. And I saw that the second season was coming out, so I was like, well, I never watched the first season. Let's go sped run that shit in like 2 days. It was so good. Just that first season alone, and then now into the second season. So what it is about is there is this society, and it is underground. There's 10,000 people, and everyone has a job, and everyone has a purpose to keep the silo running. They know that they are to stay in the silo. They have a set of laws, a set of rules that they have to follow, and one of the most ultimate rules in this system is you cannot say you want to go outside, because it is bad and evil and gross outside, and there is poison and you will die. Everyone in the silo has a purpose. You should have no reason to want to leave the silo. So this world is very controlled by the people at the top of the silo, and obviously the people all the way down at the bottom of the silo, and where you fall in on all the intricacies of the society that was set up and has a very specific, clear set of rules and scenarios to follow in every situation.
I think the problem with that kind of stuff is you got a couple fucking dreamers. Why can't everybody just have their role and understand?
So they do talk about this a little bit in the show, because everyone is forced to have birth control. Every woman has. Whoa. Yes.
Whoa.
When I say they control every aspect to ensure the health
Do you think they're all
of
synced
the
up?
silo. Do what?
Do you think they're all synced up?
That did not come up because they had it's like a little device and they have this thing in them, and so they start realizing in the first episode that there might be a little bit of a conspiracy here, because there are people who are you get selected to be approved to have a kid. You have to be approved to have a kid, and you're in with that approval, your birth control comes out. Any other time, your birth control is in, because we can't have overpopulation in a silo. Limited resources. There's nowhere else to go, so you have to maintain that. So, and it has to be regulated very specifically. So we follow this couple. It's like their third time, and they haven't been able to have a baby yet. And it's like a lottery system. And so in it, she gets her birth control taken out. It's basically an IUD. She gets her birth control taken out, and they start to try to have kids. Nothing's happening. Also, he's the sheriff. That's a very important part. He plays a huge role in this society.
He's played by
Daniel David Okoye.
Yes. He played MLK.
Yes. And then the wife is played by Rashida Jones.
Yep.
Great actors. So they get in there and they're trying to do all this stuff, and the wife is starting to realize that she's still not getting pregnant, and she's tried so many times, and there's no reason why she shouldn't be getting pregnant. And so then she goes to this person who helps with a lot of fertility issues. And this woman tells her the reason that you're not getting pregnant is because they never took out the birth control. They lied to you. You think too much and you're too independent, and they don't want people like you having kids.
We don't want thinkers.
They don't want
We want some dumb people.
They don't want thinkers. And so this woman, this is just the first episode. So this woman, she realizes like this is what's going on. She understands that like they'll never let her have a kid. She cuts the birth control out of her stomach to show her husband, the sheriff, they never took it out. It's always been in me. I want to go outside. And people lose it because nobody's asked to go outside in years. And so when you go outside, it's called cleaning. And what you're supposed to do is there's one lens that looks in the outside. One. And anyone who goes outside is not allowed back in. Once you go outside, that's it. You decided to go outside. And that's why you can never say, I want to go outside, because you will be taken into custody and forced to go outside. There's no option. You cannot say this. She says it. It's sheriff's wife. Political shit ensues. She goes outside. She tells everyone, she's like, they're lying to us. Blah, blah, blah. She can't really do a lot. She goes out. She wipes off the lens. And then you see her go off and then fall to the ground.
First episode. Boom. So where does season 2 pick up?
So, and here's what's really interesting. So after that, then the sheriff he starts doing all this stuff, and he starts looking at all these things, and he's trying to figure out, and all of a sudden he says he wants to go outside too. And so he goes outside and they see him fall. So when there is a sheriff that needs to be replaced, it is customary for the sheriff to say who he wants his next person to be. The person he said he wanted to be was this random chick from engineering who he met with like once, and she had some run-ins with his wife, and it was this whole thing. And so then the mayor and judicial is like its own thing. They are the law keepers. It's their job to keep the law, and they will do it by any means fucking necessary, including murder people.
Same.
So this woman from engineering, her boyfriend from IT, he goes missing, and they're saying that, and then they find his body dead. They said he jumped off the.
Is that common? Yeah.
Common is that Common is the head of judicial. Yes. So they say that he committed suicide. He jumped off this into the middle of the silo and all this stuff. She's like, he would never do that. He was like really big on artifacts. Another big part. There's a lot of world building to this. Like, it's very specific. So if I was gonna explain it, like, I don't want to get too deep into it, but basically, this woman goes to the sheriff before he wants to go outside, and she says, this man meant something to me, and I know he was murdered. And she's like, I know it. And he believed her. And so he went outside and left her the sheriff position. So really the first season of the show is her learning how to become sheriff and trying to find out who murdered her boyfriend. This is Rebecca Ferguson, and she is fantastic. I love her. I love her so much. And what's funny is I've been seeing her pop up in a lot of stuff lately. Like, I didn't even know this. I watched almost all of the Mission Impossible movies on Sunday.
Yeah.
And she was like all over those.
Yeah.
I've seen her. I love Rebecca Ferguson, but she plays such a fucking hard ass with Ernest. So first season is her trying to figure out what happened to her boyfriend, learning to become sheriff, fighting judicial, which is Common. Common is evil.
Love it.
And he's really good too.
Common's a great actor.
No, he's a really good actor. But so they get into it, and so I don't know how much I want to spoil, but like at the end of the first season, this is a spoiler alert if you don't want to watch, if you want to, like, if you're just getting into
Spoil!
because this is the end of the first season, but she does end up going outside,
Yeah.
but she makes it further than everyone else. And I'll just leave it at that, because then the second season is about what she finds outside of the silo.
Yeah, because I see the picture is like her in a spacesuit, basically, of like her being outside.
Yeah, because the air is completely toxic. You can't breathe
Yeah.
outside. You'll die like that. But the way
It's based off a book too, right?
I didn't even know that.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I had no idea. But the way that the story is told and the way it moves forward and it bounces from character to character a little bit, mainly following Rebecca Ferguson, but it really does, like, it doesn't start with her, and it doesn't, and like, it's just got such a good storytelling. And then, like, even with like judicial and IT, they get mad at, they're like pissed at Rebecca Ferguson for stealing some heat tape, and she's like, why are they so mad about me stealing heat tape? And you find out later why this was such a big fucking deal, because even in back of my head I was like, why the fuck do they keep bringing up this stupid fucking tape? And it's just like, but it was encapsulated in the story, in the world. It would make sense that they were so angry that she stole tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it, like that phrase didn't hold enough weight in this world, and it just did such a good. So how I would describe the show, it's basically like Fallout, but if it was serious,
Yeah.
and like actually earnest about creating the next generation through these silos.
So, how many episodes are you in the second season?
I'm fully caught up, but there's only like 3 of the second season out so far.
So, what would you give this show overall?
I would say a 7. Like, it's just a
good show.
It's just a good show. If you're into sci-fi, if you're into any like thrillers, psychological kind of shit, like, they get into a lot of that because people are being drugged, people are being like lied to in mass. There are revolts. They talk about like just getting into like engineering and just like what it would take. Like, it was just so interesting how they explained it to it and how it made sense, and it was really interesting. I don't know, just seeing people who they didn't even know what birds were. They don't have a concept of birds.
Yeah, they've been
living underground for the past 150 years, and anyone who's seen a bird is long gone.
Yeah.
And so it's just so interesting to think from like that perspective, being that isolated for that long, and what would happen in a scenario like this. And especially with, the road to hell is paved with the best of intentions, right? And these people set these laws in order to maintain peace, in order to maintain these things, but it infringed on a lot of what we as Americans would see as rights.
Yeah.
And so it kind of plays back and forth in the whole like socialism of it all. And you know me, I'm like a screaming leftist. So I was like, you know what? This is fine. Maybe you don't need to have a baby.
God.
I'm kidding for the most part, but
He's not.
I said for the most part. Some of you really don't need to have kids. I said some of you anyway, but it was just a really good show. I love Rebecca Ferguson. This show made me like fall in love with her.
Good. Not Mission Impossible.
I mean, that was kind of like part of it, but like I was already in love with her, and then I watched Mission Impossible, and I was like, oh my god, she's in this too.
Yeah, she's in
all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all of them, and I was like,
is she alive or dead?
There's no way she's dead. I know we're playing this game.
You don't know.
Well, once she made it through past the first, because that's the thing about Mission Impossible.
Wait, didn't she come back? In the last one?
She comes back for all of them. That's why I'm saying.
No, she got shot though. I think in was it Fallout or was it
I can tell you for a fact she was in the most recent one.
Yes, no, she's alive. I know that she's alive.
But no, they always pretended like she was dead. But that's the thing; they never killed off the other love interest. They just disappeared. You never saw those pictures again. True. And then that's like what was crazy to me is like I was like, why is she the one that sticks around? Because I mean, don't get me wrong,
I'm Tom Cruise dick.
I'm happy that she's the one that sticks around. Girl, watching Tom Cruise age in real time was rough.
Like
no, because I started with 2 and Baby Boy was looking fine. I was like, oh, I remember why he was a movie star. He was hot.
No, but like when we went to see Glicked and we watched the trailer, I literally on my hand, I was like, I want to count how many times we see him run.
Oh, God.
And I counted 9 times in a trailer of him just running.
And I mean, that's most of the movies is him just him running. But like I loved them. But yeah, Rebecca Ferguson is amazing. Rashida Jones is amazing. You should definitely watch Silo if you have Apple TV Plus or you're looking for a reason to get Apple TV Plus. Silo is a great show. Season 2 is running now. Watch it. Give it a try.
Yeah. And with that, that's the end of our episode.
Along with the end of the world.
I'm cool with that. But tell us, is there any other movie shows that you want? We're almost done with the year.
Yeah, tell me what to do.
Yeah, no, we only got a couple more episodes left, and then it's a new year, guys. But
2025, a quarter century into the 2000s. What have you done with it? Not shit.
I feel old now. Now I'm just saying, I feel old.
No, right? Because like it's 2025. Like we were born around 2000. So anything past 2000, you're like, it's fine. We're getting up there.
We're getting up there. Yeah. Like,
please take me out of my misery or stick me in a silo. I don't care.
I'm so good not to be in a silo. But that's our show. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Joe.
And this is Double Trouble Features.